Welcome to Dynamo using Python to write to Excel. So I'm going to get the sheet names from Excel and I'm going to write them out to an empty Excel file using this Python node. The Excel file is empty and the script itself here we'll go ahead and generate using Visual Studio, which has IntelliSense and is much more user-friendly to write code in. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to just bring in the reference of the Microsoft Office.Excel. I'll get the version number and the public key, um, and, the, and then I'll go ahead and add the Microsoft Office interop and import Excel. And then from the systems, I'm going to import the array because I'm going to build an array of objects and send it back to Excel. So I'll go ahead and grab the path from Dynamo and I'll send that in to the node. So it'll be my first end of my array in Python. And then I'm going to get the application class, which will send in the Excel application. It, from the application, I want to make sure that the visibility when it runs is turned on, so I'll set that to true. That way it pops up and I can see what I've done. And the display alerts, I'll just set to false. That way any warnings or anything, do I want to write to it or whatever, will just kind of be turned off. So I'm going to go ahead and open the Excel file through my application, and I'll go ahead and open up the workbook. The great part about it is that the path that I sent in using Dynamo I can use here. So once I got my workbook open, I'm going to actually get the worksheet, and this is kind of in a list of which worksheets are available for you, and I only have one, so I'll get the first one that's there. And then this is to iterate over over my sheets, which I'll add in a little bit. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the range of the worksheet. Which I'm going to add to my Excel file. And I'll start from the first column A in the first row 1 down to the column A in row 6. Let me double check that to make sure that I don't oversend things. I got 4 items here that I'm going to send into this list. So I'll go ahead and change that to a 4. And in this one, I'll go ahead and add a second input into my node, which will be my sheets. They won't come in into any particular order. They'll just kind of be sent in whichever way that Dynamo sends them in. The great part about this is I can get the length of that list. So however many sheets that I've got, it'll just kind of tell me, give the X a number. And the array that I'm building here in the array.create instance is an object, which we'll send back to Excel. And then this array of 2 of 2. So it has X of 2 and then Y of 2. So it's kind of the row and the column. But the great part is instead of hard coding it, I only have one column which I'm sending in, and this length here, I'm just going to put it right into that area, and I can kind of clean up a little code and make it a little bit faster for myself by just telling it that's the length sheet. where that number is supposed to go, and it can vary. So here's that I0, while I is less than the length of the sheets that I sent in, the length of the list. I'm going to iterate over it, and then this is, so I'm going to send the I, which will be at 0, and then my column, which will also be at 0, and I'll go ahead and send the sheet, and then it'll be the first, or the 0 element, which will be the first one, and I'll send it back. And then every time it runs, I will add to I, and then it'll go all the way till the end. And then the my range of values I want to assign to the object which I've generated in my array here, and send it back to Excel. So here's kind of what this little while loop is doing. It's populating the row is 0, and then it's going over and sending 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Then also on my sheets, it's sending 0, 1, 2, 3. And so that's kind of what it's doing. So this is very basic, and I'm sure you will expand this out, build some wonderful Excel applications, but just kind of get your feet wet and kind of understand how it works. So we'll go ahead and send that right into our Dynamo node and run it here. It'll send it out in no particular order, and it'll send the names of the sheets that I have here, the 4 of them, and it's just that easy to put together a real simple write to Excel script. Thanks again for watching.